Welcome to the Conscious Investor. Let's get started. What are you giving 100% to? We're all investing in something, even fractionally. And unfortunately, many of us are expending energy on a maverick temperament or on feeding an inner rebel. In this week's podcast, I want to help you unpack how to give 100% all the time. I always tell you stories, and boy, howdy, I have maybe one of the most traumatic stories I've ever experienced that happened recently. And it makes this point. In fact, it's the very moment that really was my aha moment and why I needed to share this with you. Stick around to the end because you know I'm always going to give you a great challenge that's going to help you just level up. 1% better every day does make a big difference. Let's go ahead and dive in. Recently, and I don't talk about this often, I think because I have a lot of friends that don't understand. And so I'm very cautious about the settings that I share this. So I'm going to trust everybody that's listening, you amazing listeners. I'm going to trust you with this. So I actually hunt, and a lot of people are surprised by that, and I don't talk about it often. And let's be real, I'm not a skilled hunter. So I know hunters, they're very skilled. So I am like below amateur on this. My shots are clean and clear and fantastic, which is what you do want because you never want anything to suffer. But recently I was like, I got to get out. I wanted to have some venison in the freezer. I really enjoy that process. Just draws me closer into, how grateful I am for the food that we have. And you end up not taking it for granted. And I see the provision for all the animals on our hobby farm, all the chickens and kitties. And it's really neat when you see the full cycle of this. So for those of you who, I hope that's not offensive to anybody, but it is what it is. So I decided, wow, I have this deer tag and the season's coming to an end. I need to get out. I finally have an afternoon to get out for at least an hour before sunset. And I've just got to take it. My husband told me right before I was getting into his truck, he said, hey, so the road back that you're going to take to get to the spot we go to, it's really muddy. I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's fine. He's like, no, it's really slick and you need to be really careful. Make sure you put the truck in 4-wheel drive. Make sure that you are being very careful because it will slide you off and down. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I've driven on a lot of very crazy roads. I'm cool with that. I'm comfortable behind the wheel in a lot of situations. I totally blew him off. He's giving me this advice and I thought, yeah, whatever, it's fine. I also didn't leave with all the right tools that I needed. I did remember a rifle, but I get back to the road and I turn up on it and yeah, it's a little muddy. Put it into 4-wheel drive. Like, ew, that didn't feel so good, but this will be fine. And as I progress down this road, probably a half mile long, the mud gets thicker and deeper. And there's a little ledge so you can drop off, which is really super fun. And then on the other side, there's this embankment. So you can't turn uphill. You can't go anywhere on the upside, but you can surely slide down. And you have to have the truck in exactly the right situation. And I just thought, I'm going to die. there is no doubt. This is my moment. This is absolutely terrifying because if you go too fast, you're going to peel out and you're going to fishtail a little bit. You go too slow, the mud is just going to slide you down off over the edge. And these options, I did not like my options. And it just got worse and worse as I progressed down this very narrow road. I finally got to the gate where we parked the truck, and I'm alone at this point. I was alone on this whole time. And as I drove in, I was thinking, what's he talking about? I'm just going to go in there. I'm going to go get myself a deer, and this is going to be good. And I don't have to wear all that camo like everybody else. And, I can be, and I just in my mind was thinking all of these very arrogant things. This is honestly very humiliating, very embarrassing to admit, but I think that it has such a value to it because we do this. We dismiss things so often. We dismiss how simple things really are, and we exchange them for making them very, very complex. That is what mavericks do. Mavericks take things, and instead of taking the trail that's blazed and clear and bright and beautiful, they're like, oh, no. That's the wide path. I should be on the narrow path, or not even the narrow path. I want to be on the path that I'm making, because then I know what this path is, and I don't care how hard it is. I'm going to do this. So I'm back there at this gate, and I catch my breath, and I just simply said, I have to turn around. There's no way I can safely drive out of here at nighttime. And I certainly don't want to. And I'm already scared. Yeah, that's a lot for me to say, by the way, because I really like driving, and I like driving on weird roads and stuff. So I turn around. I literally say a prayer. I've been praying the entire time, like, oh my goodness, this is like literally, Jesus, take the wheel. And I meant that, like, literally, please take this wheel, Jesus, like, protect me. But I turn around and I head back, and my heart was racing, and it was intense. And I just wanted to get back to where it was safe. Sometimes we create these moments of intensity for ourselves simply because we want to go about it our own way. We don't want to listen to all the information available to us because we're smart and we're capable. And so we simply think, I can figure this out. It's not a big deal. And the truth is, in life, it's not a big deal until it's a big deal. But when you're spending 100% of yourself trying to forge your own path, it's going to take you that much longer to reach the destination of your dreams, that much longer for you to reach and obtain like that satisfaction from, leaning into your purpose that you want to create. If we simply take the path that is cut out before us, imagine how much energy is then freed up for us to go and pour into everything that we love. This also stood out to me because at Thanksgiving, we were playing cards with our friends. If you haven't played the game, The Great Dalmuti, I highly recommend it. It's great for kids. It's great for adults. It's super fun. But in that game, the people that are the two people, the Dalmuti, the Great Dalmuti and the Lesser Dalmuti, they end up taxing the two weakest players, and they get the weakest players' very best cards. And you learn that becomes very, very advantageous. You see, we can get those advantages in life when we stop behaving like a maverick. And a lot of you listening fall into that category. Entrepreneurs, by nature, so often fall into the category of being mavericks. So let's go easy on ourselves a little bit. Let's identify, acknowledge, admit, accept, okay, this is how I'm hardwired, but it doesn't have to be always a detriment or a liability. So learning how to leverage that maverick spirit so that you can show up 100% and not waste your energy forging the own path, but being patient. I'm going to drive this point home a little more. When I'm out mountain biking, when I first started and I'd be biking with a group, I would pour out my energy right away. I just want to stay up with the front of the pack. And I wasn't able to stay up the front of the pack. Wasn't strong enough to stay at the front of the pack. I'm still not there. That front of the pack, those are amazing riders. But I burnt myself out. And that's what happens to Mavericks. So what is the value of that intensity and that short output and that propensity to, well, I'm going to do it my way and I'm going to cut my own path, if you never get to reach the destination? Fall in line, walk the broad path that is cut, because that path isn't going to stay crystal clear forever. And there's a point to where you're going to have to forge your own path. Acknowledge that. Receive the ease of the good times so that you have the energy to invest at the right time strategically. I probably have more to say on the Mavericks, but I want to talk about another person, another character, a temperament that is giving 100% and completely missing out. You know, I adore my husband, and I don't often throw him under the bus, for lack of a better word. But we had this experience come up that is just so perfect for this. And this is what I want to call the inner rebel. My husband is a really extraordinary real estate broker. He's amazing. He serves his clients with such integrity and such strength, and most of them don't even realize all the things he does behind the scenes to keep deals intact. He's amazing, so amazing that as I'm recording this, he's actually on a special dinner cruise with all of the top 10 performing agents, not just in our small town, but within all of North Idaho on our panhandle. For his brokerage, for all the RE/MAX, that's where he's at. That's where he landed, because he works hard and he's a really awesome person. And as we were working out this morning, he just had a kind of not great attitude about it. He's like, I don't want to have to drive down there. I don't want to have to drive in the rain. I don't want to do this. And I don't, and it was just kind of this blah, blah, blah. And I called him on it. I said, hey, you know, you're spending all your energy, right? We're talking about energy expense and giving 100%. I'm like, you're spending all of this energy fighting this really great opportunity in your life, a really special moment to celebrate with people he likes. Like, why are you spending your energy complaining? Okay, so an inner rebel likes to find the flaws and likes to just park and dwell instead of taking that same energy and receiving the good things around them. The inner rebel is inside just stewing away. Well, I'm just not going to have a great time. I'm not. Instead of I am, right? There's a difference. When we posture ourselves in that, well, I'm not kind of attitude, or I'm not, right? That makes me think of a bunch of those movies from the 1980s. I can think of The Redhead, but The Breakfast Club. And you have, you know, the rebel in that. And a lot of that attitude is just whatever. That's the inner rebel. We don't want to waste our energy on being the inner rebel and freeing the inner rebel. Let's spend our energy on productive things that are taking us forward. There's one more element now that I want to touch on giving 100%. We've been taking our kids to the gym to work out. You know, that's just how it is right now in the winter and all of that. And and just trying to teach honestly healthy habits. Because a lot of times people will play sports and they'll be part of a sports team and then they graduate high school and next thing you know they don't have these healthy habits instilled. So we're taking our kids to the gym to encourage just a consistent healthy lifestyle. And my son was bench pressing and we're all there, but I happen to be the one spotting him. And I remember what the owner of the gym told me when I started doing some weightlifting a couple of years ago. And I remember what he said about my body posture as, as you're bench pressing, and don't let your back arch up, and you can really get a good core workout, which I had no idea, if you're bench pressing correctly, and you can get your legs worked out even. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And as my son is there, bench pressing, and I'm spotting him, I'm trying to teach him this. And was actually like kind of showing him and touching his core and saying like, hey, so you don't, this is not how you want it. You want to do a little more like this, and you should feel like that. And the thing is, what I told him was, buddy, if you're going to do the exercise and you want the results of doing the exercise, you have to do the exercise correctly. If you don't do it correctly, it can either lead to injury. Okay, that happened to me when I was doing deadlifts and squats. I was off. And even with bench press, I had to start all over. I had to dump the weight, reduce the weight so that I could simply work on my technique. Because if we're not doing the technique correctly, we can injure ourselves. If we're not doing it correctly, we're not going to get the results that we want. So now, when we choose to have this combination potentially of that maverick or the inner rebel, and it shows up and we're simply not following things with the correct way, we end up robbing ourselves and wasting time. We might even hurt ourselves, which would cost even more, right? The importance of showing up 100% and doing things well, investing in the positive and switching that mindset from that I have to do it myself, or, well, whatever, to I'm going to show up. I'm going to show up with a positive attitude. I'm going to show up adaptable, and I'm going to show up and learn how to do this really well. I'm already here. Or in my husband's case, I'm going to be going there. No matter how much I hem and haw about this is going to happen, and I am going to do that. I might as well simply accept that and enjoy the day ahead of me. Showing up 100%, by the way, can also look like forgive me for this, but those people at the gym who are just sitting, reading a book while they're on a stationary bike. I get mobility is important, but if we're aiming to exercise so that we can, have a strong heart and to just get some cardiovascular exercise or some mobility, then we need to show up 100%. Again, we're not going to get the results we want unless we are willing to give of ourselves 100%. As you go about your week, I want you to look for the spots where you could give 10% more, one more rep. My daughter reminded me of that at the gym because she did one more. She's like, Mom, don't you remember you said do one more? And I want to encourage you to do that. If you are exercising, do one more rep, just one more. If you're doing a set of 10, do 11. If you're doing something on a time basis, go 10, 30 seconds over, beyond. Finish strong. Give more of yourself. Okay? Take that challenge in everything that you're doing in life, and you are going to be amazed at the results. That's what I've got for you today. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for your time. And I hope that this supports you in getting to where you want to go in life. If you need a little extra support, please make sure you head over to julieholly.com, schedule a time for a free coaching session, and let's see how we can support you in reaching your goals, your dreams, your ambitions, in being connected and fulfilled and joyful, because that life can be yours. You are in control of your life. You get to decide. If you need support with that, don't hesitate to reach out. And until next time, live big, love bigger. Feeling alone, disconnected? Conscious investors often feel alone or disconnected because of their unique perspective and desire to expand their thinking. But the journey of a lifetime isn't meant to be solo or forged by grit alone. Join the Conscious Investor community on Facebook. Link arms, exchange ideas, and expand your thinking on finances, relationship, and community. Join the Conscious Investor group on Facebook today.